The most basic connection between the WebHMI graphics and the runtime engine is the item binding. Each tag that I want to display on a diagram has an associated item name. We discuss creating these items in more depth in the Profile Editor videos. Beyond the variable tags, I can also bind alarm statuses to the graphics so long as they have item names assigned. Before moving on, note that my project is currently compiled, running, and I can open the WebHMI. Next, let's open Graphics Editor. There are several efficiency tools available here, and we'll discuss them as they're used. To begin my first floor plan diagram, I'll drop a background image here and adjust it to fit. This image has been created in another graphics program for me. To add real-time data to the screen, I'll start with a simple item binding, let's say for my main utility Active Power. This binding will use a text object. I'll drop this onto the page and enter some placeholder text. These hash marks are the standard format text used in the variable tag, and I can see this if I find this tag back in Studio. I can use any placeholder text here I want, but it's helpful to have the text be the same size as the variable tag so I can position the value correctly on the page. Next, I'll select the text object in my object tree. I like to position my Properties tab so it's always on screen. Here, the Content property will contain the displayed power value. I'm going to right-click this property and select Bind to bind this property to a variable tag. Next, I'll select the Bind object in the tree. The name field in this object is what needs to be set to the fully qualified item name to bind the property. This field takes the format cluster.equipment.item. I could copy these values from Studio and paste them here, but there is a faster method. If I click the Components tab on the left side of the page, the binding tree pops up on the right. From here, I can expand my equipment and locate the value I want to bind. I'll right-click this, select Copy to Clipboard, and then paste the item into my name property. While we're here, let me point out the Format property of the bind. If I leave this at None, the format of the value is undefined. Instead, I want to change this to Presentation to indicate the value should take the format in the database. And at this point, my text object is correctly bound. Since I'm creating a new page, I will save it with a new name, Main Level, in my project's TGML directory. We'll see how this directory maps to a menu structure in a later video. Once saved, I can open up the WebHMI and refresh my Diagrams tab, to see the value displayed correctly. Of course, this is not all that's required for a value on the screen. I will also add some text formatting, a label, and the units. After this video, I'll continue this procedure to create a small table of values on the screen. This demonstrates the most basic method for binding variable tags and alarms into your diagrams. In later sessions, you'll see that the standard one-line components can detect item names automatically and are simpler to add to a diagram than this, but it's necessary to understand how these bindings work first. Until then, thank you.